Ah yes, here we are again. Everyone's favorite time of the year, the real national holiday. It's Amazon Prime Day. Yay! Praise be to Jeff Bezos and our corporate overlords, and may we all be lucky enough to one day work for Amazon. But you know what else that means is that guitar companies have sales on all of their guitars on Amazon. And even better, these guitar companies are sending their guitars out to guitar influencers to review and demo on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. Yes! And wouldn't I just be lucky enough to be one of those guys to get one of these guitars to review? Here's where it gets a little bit awkward. I've already reviewed this guitar. In fact, I've reviewed like 4 Enya guitars on my channel. And while the review of this guitar was in a different color, there was no difference at all between this guitar and the other guitar. And so they gave me an interesting idea, a pivot. Are smart guitars the future? Or is there a future in smart guitars? Or something like that. And it's an interesting question because I am not the right guy to ask that question to. These guitars are not for me. I am old as shit. I'm 37 years old. I have every pedal I could ever want. I have amps, I have cabs, I have guitars, I have plugins on my computer, I have multi-effects pedals. I don't need a smart guitar. In fact, in all of my Enya reviews, my biggest gripe about the Enya guitars is the fact that they have this cheap onboard speaker that I do not think sounds very good. That being said, the question isn't so much, is this guitar the future? Because even though this guitar is built really, really well, and I think has lots of cool futuristic things about it, I don't think it sounds very good. For those of you that don't know, here's what a smart guitar does. On the guitar, there is this button, and if I press this button, then this happens. Yes, we'll go over that in a minute, but it does this. There's also a bunch of different kinds of amps and tones. And of course, it would not be a smart guitar if it didn't have an app that goes with it, which it does. So this seems like a pretty cool idea. You take a nice guitar, which this is, and you just throw in a speaker and you throw in some effects and boom, you have a portable amp, a portable system that works great for traveling, maybe busking, I guess practice maybe too. So the question was, do I think this concept will become the future of guitar? And the answer is unfortunately a little bit complicated because they may have some practical use in the future, but they need a lot of work. If you didn't notice, the second I turned this on, this happened. So I play metal. I primarily play neoclassical, technical death metal. That's what I play. I can't have the distortion up to like 4 without having the noise gate so high that my lead tones don't sustain bends. So I can't really use this guitar without stopping. I can just keep playing over and over and over again. The second I stop, that happens, okay? So the technology conceptually makes some sense. Let's go to the beach, let's grab my guitar. Let's go on a vacation, let's grab my guitar. Even for practice, it makes sense. There's a headphone jack where you can plug in headphones and have a quiet guitar with the tones that are on board. There's even a Bluetooth mode where you can connect your phone and have backing tracks for live busking. I mean, the concept is there. It's cool. It all makes a lot of sense, but it just sounds horrible. It sounds awful. Considering how bad the tones are in this, if I'm going to be traveling, it's much easier and more practical to grab something like this. This is a Valaton GP5, and this thing sounds fucking sick. It has a neural amp loader and it's smaller than my cell phone. Now if I take that and my wireless cable with some wireless headphones and plug them in, with a regular guitar, it fits in my case. It's an equally small rig and it gets the job done just as well, except it doesn't sound like complete ass. Now, having said all of these terrible things about this system, which again, I do not like these sounds at all, it reminds me a lot of multi-effects pedals when they first started coming out. Like I said, I am old as shit. So my first rig was a Digitech RP50, and it sounded horrible. My rig after that was a Pocket Pod, and it sounded horrible. And at that time, I was online, I was posting, I was talking in forums, and everyone was saying that the technology was gonna go nowhere. It sounds awful. Nothing will ever replace a tube amp. But now, fast forward 20 or 25 years, all of that multi-effect stuff sounds incredible. The Quad Cortex, all of the Fractal stuff, the Kemper stuff, the Line 6 stuff, even the super cheap Voweltone and Hotone stuff, it all sounds fucking amazing. I'm not sure about you, but every time I listen to one of those YouTube side-by-side comparison tests of a Fractal and a real amp, I am always hoodwinked. I have no idea what the difference is. So just because this happens to sound kind of like ass, that does not mean that there's no future here. At the same time, if I were a 13-year-old kid, I could see this being extremely appealing to me. I don't know what good guitar tone is yet. I don't have nice gear. I don't have the luxury of a refined guitar player's ear to know that just some static sounding guitar tone is not the regular thing. So if I were a kid and I was just starting out, this would actually be a fantastic first guitar. I mean, the build quality of these Enyas is incredible, but like I said, we're not talking about that in this video. We're talking about smart guitar technology. So the build quality aside, this technology here, being able to plug in some headphones and have an immediate clean tone, some distortion, that is objectively pretty cool. You can just do that straight away without any thinking. It's just right there for you. Of course, the other side is you can just buy one of these for 50 bucks and grab some headphones and have far better tone. Now, the thing is, there is a learning curve with things like this. This requires software and learning how to download tones and going online. With this, you just press a button and the tones are there, or connect it to your phone and the tones are there. With an app that has, things like education on there, it's a decent idea for sure. Like I said, the prompt was, is this the future? Not, is this the present? Because no, this is not the present. This is a cool idea that needs a lot of work. And maybe in 25 years, just like the Pocket Pod and just like the RP50, this could become a Quad Cortex. So respecting the question, is this the future? Let's pretend that this technology is perfect. It sounds fantastic. It sounds almost like a real amp, and it's in your guitar. Could that be the future? I think absolutely that could be the future. It saves you the headache of having to buy an amp, having to buy a cab, even having to buy one of those cheap multi-effects pedals. It's all right here with an app to accompany it. So if they can get this to sound more and more and more like a real amp and cab, obviously, this is going to be an absolute home run. I know that some other brands like Moore have a better sound in their guitar, and so I think the technology is certainly there, and I think if they keep on trying to evolve the technology and make these speakers nicer and kind of find a way to get that same oomph and push out of this speaker, I think this could absolutely take over the guitar market. That being said, this has a lot of work to do. This is not done yet by any stretch of the imagination, and I haven't seen much evolution over the last 4 or 5 years in these Enya guitars as far as the onboard sound and speaker goes. I know they are making small adjustments to give credit where it's due, but at the same time, as a player, it just kind of sounds the same to me every time I get one. So to answer the question, is this the future? Maybe, but it's not the present. This needs a lot of work before it's something that I think is professional level, even amateur level, because amateur level, like I said, has come so far. However, you have to respect the innovative spirit of brands like Enya. They're trying to do something revolutionary and cool. And the thing is, if they do it, if they can bring those super high quality tones to a guitar like this, a really nice affordable guitar that's beginner friendly and professional friendly, I think they're going to dominate the guitar market. Oh, and by the way, did I mention, if you want this amazing guitar with this okay sounding speaker, you can get it on sale for Prime Day. It's Prime Day, and I'm gonna go unwrap my presents under my Prime tree right now. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to get your hands on this guitar, now is the best time to do it. I'll leave a link in the description to go buy it. And Enya, thank you for sponsoring the video. I hope you don't hate me for being real. I'm always going to keep it real. And I will see y'all on the next video. Thank you.